Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is John, the CIO and also founder of VSHR Group. So today's video, I want to share you something which is typically from out of my life. So you may be early 30s right now, or you are at late teen, or maybe you are early 20s or in the mid 20s. So I'm going to share you the top 10 mistakes I made on my early 20s. And actually, I'm really regret about all those things. And I know that right now, when I'm standing here and just looking back on those ages, it would be a lot more valuable on my journey and the progress I could make a lot more than what I'm making today. So in this video, I'm going to unveil those 10 mistakes I really did. Definitely not super comfortable to sharing with you, but I'm going to do it for you because you can see this one. And if you see any one of them is inside of you, I'm not going to tell you that you should get rid of it, but you could definitely consider if you find out any one of them right now, you have it inside of you. So what are you waiting for? Let's get started. To make it happen. So let's see what we can do to these student leaders. So number one is about playing games. I spend a ridiculous amount of time playing games. So when I was a student, I will tell you, it's a very innocent habit. When I was a student at university, basically I did not play really game much. I used to play some when I was in high school, or even like in late grade 6, grade 7, grade 8. I used to play some games, but I used to go to gaming store and play like once in a month, something like that, or in a special occasion. So it was not really an addiction, but my mom and dad really educated me that, hey, you shouldn't spend a lot of money on just game, because you should be spending that money for doing something else. So that was very innocent. And then I came to the university. I was playing. I felt like first year and second year I spent a huge amount of time playing a lot of games, because a lot of games was new to me. But the one thing was good. I was playing strategy games. I was playing like Age of Empires with my classmates online. I played Dota and beat a little more first-person shooting game as well too. But I could get rid of those first-person shooting games very easily. I did not get into mobile gaming because mobile gaming was way too early that phase, and I'm lucky that I did not really get into that. I could avoid that addiction. But the things start to happen is when I get out of the school and start to get a first job and go to overseas, start to get a little more comfortable with my those venture. I felt like I need to get a little more thing to do beside work to make myself more relaxed, and that was the mistake. Like I was keep playing game, not a lot, but 3 times a week, maybe 3 hours in every time. So every week, like almost 10 hours I spend on gaming. And now when I look back, oh my God, that's like 10 hours was a gold mine for me. I could spend the 10 hours to create even like anything. I could read something else, I could write something, I could even just make another video channel. By the time I was making another YouTube channel like in 2011, and I was made a lot of contents, and many of the content got like few 100,000 views, because at that time the content was way too easy. Like you cannot find content that easy like what you can get it today. Like you are watching this one, but you can find many other contents which you can get it on from you. But that time I was making really technical contents, and that was getting a lot of view, because the only person who was making such kind of technical, like software engineering and quality management, no one else was doing. So my video was so unique, but I did not do it. Like I could spend more time on reading, like I could spend more time going out and meeting people too. I did not. That 10 hour went to that way, and I really regret about it. So that was one of the first thing I regret about. I could save the 10 hours per week and I could put it on. But luckily that I could get rid of it over time. At 27, I resigned completely. I resigned first at 25 when I was 25. Then in 27, I completely resigned from that game. And but that 4 or 5 years period of time, I lost quite a bit of time, and which is not great, because that was a really golden time for me. Number 2, listening the relaxing music when I was resting. Like an example was it was like in the evening time, or I was in, let's say, weekend time. I was like like taking a rest. Maybe I went out in the morning, afternoon I came back, have lunch, and I'm in the bed taking some rest, and evening maybe I'll go out again. So during this break time, I was spending just listening, some kind of relaxing, mood on thing. And I've seen that there's a lot of young people doing the same thing, because I spend quite a bit of time in young people right now because of what things I do. I saw that I really like to spend a lot of time, and maybe it's just something like psychology, we like to fill those things in our mind. So I really regret about those matter. If I could just simply turn out those time to become just to hear some podcasts or hear some audiobooks in YouTube would be amazing. But actually, yes, I should be nice to myself, because there was not enough audiobooks in YouTube. But still, I could find something rather than just listening to just cool and chill music. And I found that was one of the worst misuse of my time I have done in my early 20s. Number 3, I didn't really much spend time during the weekend period of time. I was doing some personal development. I was doing a lot of learning too, but most of the learning thing I was doing after work, in the weekdays, in the evening. And weekend, I spent almost zero time, early 20s, in learning. But particularly weekend morning, I could easily turn it out to learn something. Often I was getting up late, and if I could just getting up like 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and if I could spend like 2 hours over the breakfast learning something, that would have been amazing. I could really take out a lot of time. I was really troubling about, I probably really used up all my time. But now when I look back, I can see this one, that I could easily use those 2 hours or even 3 hours in the morning, and just in Saturday and Sunday morning could be 6 hours extra, which was like quite a big chunk of time, and with a fresh mindset could be very highly productive. But I was not doing that for quite a long period of time. And then finally, late 20s, I changed. I started learning, and I started working on research, and I started to focus more about building organizations, and then everything has been changed since then. Number 4, I didn't really spend time to learn about finance. And this is something, it's also like, you can see this, and this is also connected to the number 3 and number 2 as well too, because these are all interconnected, because this one habit trigger you to do more thing, and when you go miss one habit, then it will be trigger you in surfacing multiple places. So I was an engineering student, and everything I was thinking about technology and cool stuff, solving problem, but into the day I have to understand that whatever I'm doing, bringing value to this world, and how they are bringing value back to me, what I'm going to do with that value, how do I can scale this up, or how do I sustain it, those all informations knowledge can come from finance and investment. So I start investing and starting out finance pretty late, and I should be doing it since I'm 18. I was earning a lot of money back that time. At my age, even at my student, I had a pocket allowances. I was having part-time jobs at that, and then when I graduating, or I immediately have a good job, well-paying job as well too, and I was doing side income as well too. I could easily put all this money to invest, so I could easily start like 5, 6, or even 8 years before when I was start investing. I could do that, and that would be really great ROI for me, because investment, the earlier I do, the better it is. Now I know, but that time no one told me, and I didn't know. It was not an excuse. It's my fault. I should knew it, and I should be figuring out how to do this one. It was absolutely my fault, and I want to not doing that one. So that's the whole purpose of giving this video to you, so you can watch it and you could fix if any of the problems you have. Number 5, I didn't spend enough time to travel. So that is, I think, one of the not great thing I'm doing. So I was doing well about in terms of savings. I was really cost conscious. I was not spending money on ridiculous thing. I was managing my budget. This is something I've done really well. So that's it. I will be making another video a few days later. What are the thing I really do well? This will be part of that. But I should be spending a little more time and money to travel, because traveling is about, when you travel, I can see thing, and when I can see thing, and I can imagine here, and when I can imagine, I can write, and when I write it down, I can use my hand to turn into a reality. So that's why the seeing is a big part of it. And I was not traveling enough. I was not refreshing myself. I was being inside, and I did not go out to meet more people and more cultures. I did probably 2-3 trips, international trips per year, but I could easily do 6 or 7 trips a year. So I could probably 50% or almost double the trip, and that could help me to develop my personal development, and also could improve my interpersonal skill, which is a very, very important. Like one of the skills that can always make you a big difference about you when you could build and improve your interpersonal skill. Number 6, this is the thing, it's a very classic one. I was not reading enough books. So what I was doing that time, so I will tell you. I will tell you a story, and it was been a mind-boggling for me, and I was feeling for many years after even it happened that I was right. But now, when I look back, I was so wrong about it. So the story is that I was in a social gathering, and there was a project discussions going on, and basically I met an American CEO. So he's quite senior. He was like around 50s, I think, his early 50s, and he's doing a great projects. And during the conversation, he was thinking about, we're discussing about one technology project which he wants to build, and I could help him as my side project beside my job. So what he told me that, John, what did you do for learning? So I told him that I took a Stanford program, which is tech entrepreneurship, and I was in the top 3 or 4 in the program among 40,000 students all over the world. So that's wow, that's great. So then he know that the teacher was actually taught me that program. He know that guy as well too, because that guy was well connected, and the professor was really well known as well too. So then when he asked me that, John, what book are you reading right now? Then I tell him that no, I don't really read books. He asked me why. Then I told him that I don't really read books because I think the book is out of date, because when things come out from somebody's mind and write it down and publish, and I'm reading it for a few years later, it's already out of date. I need more up-to-date thing. So I was reading more on conference paperworks and to get me myself on most up-to-date knowledge. And he just laughed, and he didn't say anything after that, and we just move on in the discussions. But what the part was that one, I just always felt like it was right, and I was doing the right thing. I could do the best use of my time. I had the great ROI because I get the most up-to-date knowledge, because I was reading all up-to-date conference, particularly about IEEE conference paper. I was a writer as well. So what happened that time? I was so biased about thinking about that I just need the most up-to-date one. But there is a book can give you a lot of mindset and key takeaways, or it's just a video like this from a lot of other great successful people could help us to develop a lot of skill. And that's the thing I was missing out. And since after like late 20s when I started reading books, then everything's changed. Like I love reading books, and that was one of the biggest mistake I did. I was not reading books. I should be reading books that time, and not only genre. I was doing great thing reading only genre and conference up to knowledge, but those are all about technology. This is the thing. I was very specialized about technology. I was getting great career path, but I have a life to lead as well too, and that part need a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and which I can easily get it from the books, because the other great people already wrote it down all this matter, and I can just simply read through and can take their brand's idea. And that is a part I missed out. I was not reading enough. Number 7, I did not understand and value wisdom. What I was valued about how smart I was really overvalued smartness. I was thinking smartness is everything. I have to be smart, and smartness comes from soft skills. Smartness comes from how good I'm doing my work. But smartness is not about only just how you do your good work. I have realized that one. It's about how you work with other people, how you talk to other people at work, outside work, or it could be how you talk to a girl, how you talk to a man, how do you talk to a stranger. Everything comes to a place, and all this comes from one place. When you could build your wisdom. Wisdom comes with experience plus smartness plus hard work plus like a lot of matters here, and I don't really have a clear formula yet. But it's not about only smartness. I realized that smartness is just a one part in the game, and I would just overvalue smartness. I thought that people are only smart could be really, really successful at early 20s, but actually I was seriously wrong. It is all about not just becoming tactics to be more smart or look smart, but is actually building great wisdom inside myself is the main winning key of the game of life. Number 8, I did not pay attention about the emotions. I was really working really hard. I was really paying attention at my growth of my career. I was really paying a lot of effort, and I felt that I was almost turning into a robot that time, that it just constantly, I think this also comes to my strength. Like when I decide to do something, that I will really go after that one. I will go all out and I will just never stop until it's done, and which is great of me too. But what I need to understand, that I also need to understand the wisdom, the emotions of the people too. There's a lot of people who loves me, and I need to understand the emotions, and I have to respect them. Like I was not calling my moms for weeks, and that was not a great thing I've done. I have not talked to my brothers for weeks and even months. Even I know that how much he loves me and how much he respects me. I did not. And then in late 20s, when I changed the schedule, that I started to make calls to my mom, to my dad, and to my brothers, and then everything started to change, that I have a lot of people who can give me a lot more emotional strength to my life, which can make me even stronger. And I was missing that part. All I was thinking about, I'm going to go all about myself and I'm going to win the battle. But life is not a one-man show or one-man battle. Life is about a team game, and when we play the team and we tap it on all different kind of energy, we bring it on, then it can help us. But here's the point. I was really scared about wasting a lot of time. I've always been finding a way how I can be more productive. So I was trying to cut time from everything, and I was basically put the time to the work, which is a great thing. But talking to mom and dad and brothers once in a week or twice is also part of the game, and it also brings up great emotional strength or emotional energy as well too. So this is also important, I realize, and I have done it not great in early 20s. Number 9, I did not know about what is the power of loan and debt. Like every middle class people, I was also thinking, or early young people, oh, loan is bad. We should not take the loans. We should not use the debt. Of course, the credit card loan is terrible. The loan on a house or mortgage, or even the loan about your student loan are really, really bad. I never wanted to have loans. I always avoid loans. I never study about loans, and that's my weakness. I didn't realize that how to use the loans and debt in my own favor too. So later on of my career, I had to learn about how to use the debt. Like example, like several months ago, I was talking to my dad, and I was talking about a financing plan, and we talked about debt, and he said that, oh no, it's not a good thing, it's a bad thing. Then I had to come on and explain to him that why it's really a good thing, and I realized that, wow, I should have learned it way ahead. Then probably I could use this one to even build a better financial portfolio, what I have today right now too. So here's the top 9 thing I have done it wrong and in the early 20s. And if I could do all those 9 things better, I would be a lot ahead of what I'm today. And that's the part of my learning. And I know that I did everything possible for me that time too, but I could always do better. So here's the thing. You're probably doing great. You're doing a great amount of work, but you can always look back, and you can always find a way to find yourself better. And here's the point. When you find yourself doing something better, the mistake you make, go ahead and please share to other people like this by making this video or putting a comments, what is a mistake you have done, so other people can also listen from your mistake and learn from them, and so they can move ahead in their life and contribute better in this world too. So here you go. With this one, go ahead, keep succeeding, and the next video is coming is about the 10 thing I did really right in early 20s who helped me to become today. That is also coming up too as well too. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, let us know if you have any question. Looking forward to hear from you.